I remember on the opening night of Wicked in Melbourne, 2008.
The first time ever.
First opening. I was so nervous.
Oh, God,
and I
can't imagine.
Yeah, like out of body experience.
Yeah.
And like so grateful, but so grateful. Like, can't believe I'm here. Still the same feeling. Can't believe it happened. A couple of things were going wrong early, and I was like, I didn't hit that thing. And I thought, just be grateful. Just be grateful to be here. Do you know what I think is really key is just the gratitude for whatever it is. Like
You're very good at gratitude though, and a lot of people, it's a nice concept, but they're not great at practicing it. And I've become much better since working with you because you're so good at it. You just have such a beautiful vision of it, and around competition. And I would love you to share your thing, how you view competition. You just never seem to get competitive.
Well, I don't feel very, very competitive, and I wonder if it's maybe. Well, I think it's a few things. One, I was never very good at anything. Like, I was sort of just okay at things. And I think, so as a result, nobody ever saw me as a threat until I was a lot older. But also, I do genuinely get so much joy watching other people get things and be happy. And I do remember a moment in my early 20s when I was like, oh, this girl that I knew got a part in a TV series. And I said to my friend Matthew Robinson, oh, I wish that was me. Like, I'd love that part. And he said, but Luce, like, you've got to just think, if somebody gets something, then that means, and I've said this to you before, and I think we've got it in one of our talks even, but if somebody gets something, then it's out there for the taking. That exists. And that is just your system saying, hey, I want something like that too. And actually, I have a really firm belief that if we all got really specific about what we actually wanted, we'd all want something a little bit different. From, even if it looks the same on the, you know, and so then to get really into the granular detail of what it is that you want. So then when you get it, you're like, I got the thing I wanted.
It is something that you are also, I think you practice. Like you actively will celebrate people. And you also, and as you said, just that element like that you've said to me as well before, like looking at a sense of competition or a sense of, you know, seeing someone get something that you have wanted, looking at it as something that is helping you identify a goal or it's a value, it shows you a value. So it's actually about looking at it as the mirror as opposed to looking at it as a lacking. But again, that comes back to how we are viewing ourselves with judgment or how we're viewing ourselves with a sense of openness to observe.
I do truly think it all comes back to gratitude. And I think it's just that thing, it keeps you moving then and keeps you connected to the moment. But I think I'm just so grateful that I'm here. And it doesn't matter that went wrong because I'm here. Like I'm so grateful to be here. And then that helped me, and it kind of got me out of a funk. And so it's just such a useful tool to keep being like, but there is always something, you can always be creatively grateful for something.
Absolutely.
And even if you're in a really bad time, and obviously when you're in a really bad time, that's when it's the hardest, but that's when it's the most powerful.
But also, as we know as well, like whatever you tell your brain, it will focus on.
That's the neuroplasticity of your brain, isn't it?
That's it. So if you're focusing on all the things that we're lacking, then we have a deficit mindset. If we're focusing on all the things that are around us, then our brain starts to observe and see those more clearly.
Yes.
And actually, we did this, this is for everyone out here, we did this amazing leadership workshop recently, and it was so awesome. I loved it.
Yeah,
did you just love it?
Oh,
and there was this one thing that has really resonated with me and stuck with me, where they were saying, whatever story you're telling yourself, like question, we always talk about, you know, is it truthful? Because sometimes your brain will tell you things that aren't always true. You know, they're not necessarily fact. They might just be stories. And that's accurate. But what I liked that was different was they said, this story that you're telling yourself, who cares if it's true or not? Is it useful? Because if it's not useful, then let's find a different version of the story. Again, who cares if it's true or not? Find a version of the story that is useful. And, you know, they gave us this great example of how there was a woman who was, you know, moving into a position of leadership in a workplace, but really felt like she didn't deserve it, that she'd gotten it because her mum had run the business, and that was basically the only reason. So she felt like she was lacking in skills and, not good enough, that everyone was going to be judging her, all of these elements. In some respects, it is truthful. Her mum was running the business. She hadn't been the boss before, and people probably were going to critique her. But they were like, regardless of the fact that some of those facts are true, none of that is useful. So what is useful? Well, yes, your mum has run the business, which means that you have actually then lived a life where this business has been so important and instrumental to your family, where you have grown up, you've worked in every part of the business, from the mailroom to being in customer service, to being a small manager, to then being a major manager. So you've worked your way all the way up through the business, so no one is better positioned than you to understand what this business is. yes, you know, you haven't been a leader like this before, so that means that you can bring a sense of like freshness to it. You can see new things, and you can also like lean on others and delegate, which means you can lift others up. So it was like, how do we use the same ideas but reframe them so it empowers you rather than detracts from you? And so anyway, I loved that about the leadership conference, and I think that that is something that you do a lot, both in Hey Lemonade as well as in life.